When you're dating a Sigma, there's this undeniable attraction, this magnetism that pulls you in. They exude a sense of confidence, independence, and mystery. They're the type of person who doesn't need anyone, and yet somehow they manage to make you feel special. There's something about their calm demeanor, their ability to remain unaffected by external pressures, that creates a sense of intrigue. But like any relationship, things are never as simple as they seem, especially when you're involved with someone as complex as a Sigma. Their strengths are clear, but as with all people, they come with their own set of challenges, and sometimes the darker side of a Sigma can reveal itself. When you're not paying close attention, you might find yourself caught up in their charm, their quiet confidence. And before you know it, you're in deep. But what happens when the red flags start to surface? What happens when the person you've grown to admire begins to show signs of manipulation, emotional detachment, and control? Let's talk about what you need to watch out for. These red flags, the ones that scream for attention, the ones that could ultimately leave you questioning if you're in a healthy relationship at all. At first, everything seems perfect. You're drawn to their independence, their self-reliance, and their ability to keep their life under control. But here's the thing, with a Sigma, there can be an underlying need for control that you might not notice at first. You see, while they love their independence, they don't always want to share that space with anyone else. Their need for control can be subtle. At first, you might think they just have strong opinions or a clear sense of direction, but as time goes on, you may begin to feel like your own choices and preferences are being disregarded. You might notice them undermining your decisions, brushing off your suggestions, or even taking over situations that you thought you had control over. They might start dictating where you go, who you spend time with, or how you spend your time. And while it seems like they're just being helpful or protective, it slowly starts to chip away at your autonomy. Ask yourself, is this a partnership? Or is this a one-sided relationship where your desires and needs are secondary to theirs? Then, there's emotional detachment. In the beginning, the Sigma might seem like the perfect partner, aloof but intriguing, distant yet affectionate in their own way. But as you grow closer, you start to notice that they struggle with emotional intimacy. They have a hard time opening up, and when they do, it often feels like they're holding back something important. It's almost as if they have a wall around their emotions, and you can't quite get through. When you try to talk about your feelings, they might dismiss them, or worse, change the subject, leaving you feeling unheard and alone. Their inability to connect emotionally can create a rift in the relationship, leaving you feeling disconnected. You might even start to feel like they don't really care about you in the way that you need. You begin to wonder if they're capable of being emotionally vulnerable or if they're too closed off to make the relationship truly fulfilling. So ask yourself, are you okay with an emotional connection that feels one-sided? Or do you need someone who can meet you in the middle? One of the most dangerous red flags in a Sigma relationship is their tendency to withdraw. When things get tough, when there's a disagreement, or when they feel threatened, their natural response is often to retreat. They don't engage in conflict the way other people do. Instead, they shut down. They'll pull away emotionally, physically, and sometimes even mentally. This withdrawal can feel like abandonment, leaving you to deal with the fallout alone, and worse, it can leave you second-guessing your actions, wondering if you said or did something wrong. But in reality, their withdrawal has little to do with you, and everything to do with their need for space and control. They don't want to face the issue head-on, and this can leave you feeling isolated and ignored. Ask yourself, how long can you deal with someone who shuts down when things get difficult? How long can you feel like you're constantly fighting for attention and connection? Then there's the issue of manipulation. This is one of the most insidious aspects of being involved with a Sigma. Because it's not always obvious, manipulators are skilled at twisting situations to suit their needs, and the Sigma, with their keen intellect and emotional distance, can easily slip into this behavior without you even realizing it. They may gaslight you, making you question your perception of reality, or use their quiet charm to get what they want, without you even knowing it. They know how to make you feel like you're the problem when things go wrong. They're experts at playing the victim, and when you try to confront them, they'll often deflect or dismiss your concerns, leaving you feeling confused and unsure of where you stand. Their manipulation might seem harmless at first, just little things here and there, but as time passes, these tactics can wear you down, leaving you doubting your own worth and questioning your role in the relationship. So ask yourself, do you feel like you're being manipulated, or are you genuinely in a partnership where your voice matters? Another key red flag is their inability to prioritize the relationship. As much as a Sigma loves independence, there's a point where this need for space can turn into neglect. When you're with a Sigma, you might feel like you're an afterthought. Their priorities lie elsewhere. Whether it's work, hobbies, or their own personal projects, They may not seem to care about nurturing the relationship, or they might give you just enough attention to keep you around, but not enough to make you feel valued. When you bring up the issue, they might tell you that you're being too clingy or needy, making you feel guilty for asking for more. The truth is, they just don't prioritize you in the way you need, and this can lead to feelings of abandonment and emotional neglect. Ask yourself, can you tolerate being in a relationship where you feel like you're constantly fighting for attention, or do you need someone who values the relationship as much as you do? Finally, let's talk about their lack of accountability. Sigmas are highly independent, but this independence can sometimes make it difficult for them to take responsibility for their actions. They may avoid owning up to their mistakes, instead shifting the blame onto you or external circumstances. They rarely admit when they're wrong, and when they do, it's usually because they've been caught, not because they've genuinely reflected on their behavior. This lack of accountability can make it feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, waiting for them to acknowledge their wrongs, but never getting the closure you need. Over time, this can create a toxic cycle where you're always trying to fix things, but they never take responsibility for their role in the conflict. Ask yourself, can you be with someone who can never admit when they're wrong, or do you need a partner who takes responsibility for their actions? As you reflect on these red flags, it's important to take a step back and assess your relationship with a Sigma. It's easy to get caught up in their charm, their mystery, and their independence, but the dark side of their personality can slowly erode the foundation of your connection. Remember, relationships are about balance, communication, and mutual respect, and if these red flags are present, it's time to question whether this relationship is truly healthy for you. The choice is yours, and only you can decide what you're willing to tolerate and what you need to walk away from. Stay true to yourself, and remember that you deserve a relationship that makes you feel valued, heard, and loved. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share because you will learn even more about recognizing healthy relationships in the next video. Stay tuned.